Good morning. We're going to talk briefly about the operation of the Zeltex 101XL portable octane tester. We'll begin with a quick walk around the instrument. What we see here is the command panel. We have the digital buttons that we enter values in with, and we have the control buttons. We have the display panel, which will show your commands and what the instrument is asking you to do. The printer and the sample chamber. We call this aluminum device a light shield. It keeps ambient light out of the sample chamber, which is right here, where if you turn it up sideways, you can see the detector here and the diffuser from the LEDs right about here. If we turn the instrument on its side, from top to bottom, we see the AC port if you're running the instrument from wall power instead of on battery. This is, of course, the PC communication port, and this slide switch is the on-off. If we rotate the instrument around, we see a data panel, which gives the serial number of the instrument, the power settings that it's set up to run at, and this is a battery case in which we've installed some batteries. Okay, the first step, of course, is to turn the instrument on. So, as I said, we slide the switch on, the instrument chirps, and we see the instrument counting backwards. It's doing a diagnostic at this stage, and we just have to wait for it to get to 0. Okay, and now the instrument is displaying clear chamber and press measure. The reason we have to clear the chamber is because we need to fire some light through initially to determine a baseline for how much energy is usually passing through, so we can determine how much energy is being absorbed by the sample. Every time you take a measurement or press measure at all, the light shield must be in place as it is here. So we'll press measure, and it's taking a standard or a blank, as some people will call them right now. It'll now display, I think you can see it, put in sample. And a word on alignment, you'll see an alignment stripe on the side. Please line it up with this smaller line on the side of the sample chamber, like this. Put it in place, press measure. The purpose for those is to make sure that the windows are facing the correct direction and the instrument's not looking through the film. As you'll see, there are windows on each side, and you wouldn't want to look through the film. And we lined it up on the side like this. Place it in, press measure. The film is there predominantly to avoid a phenomenon called light piping, where this light will hit the glass at an angle and get caught bouncing back and forth between the air and the sample, basically giving you a reading of glass. It now displays remove and press M. We took the sample out, put the light shield on, and press measure. It's now displaying sample number 1, there we go, or sample number 0. You can have the instrument, sample number 1 is currently 0. Right now it's set to permit you to enter numbers manually. You can also set the instrument to automatically number sequentially. We're going to give it sample number 1. Press select. And the printer comes up, and it's printing up a ticket. And these are the constituents that we have it set up to measure. Here we go. And this is a ticket. And what we see here is we have it set up to show you the date and time that the sample is read, the sample number. Again, you can have it read them automatically or give them your own numbers, no alphabet characters. It shows you the calibration that was being used, and that's the calibration model, which is for E-gas, or ethanol blended gas, the RON, the MON, the average of the two, and the percent ethanol. And we see this is 91.2 octane gas, and it is 7.2% ethanol. And that's the basic operation of the instrument. A few other things that we might want to look at are if you are in an area where you have both gasoline and ethanol blended gasoline, and you need to switch it over to gas, or neat gas. What you do is you go into the menu, and you have some options here. There we go. And the way you cycle through your options is by pressing these buttons here. But the one we're interested in is enable products. It'll ask you to enter the product number. By convention, gas is 0, and you can see me pressing 0, and gasoline is off, gasoline is on. You'll just cycle back and forth between the two. You want gasoline on, and when one product's on, you want to turn the other one off, so we enter product 1, so e-gas is off. So now if we were to run the sample, it would read in gasoline for us. That's the basic operation of the instrument. There are a couple other menu options. As we said, we have the first one that'll come up is enable products, because that's the most common thing you'll do in this menu. Data link is to attach the instrument to a computer. Store sample. Sometimes people will find peculiar samples when they're out doing their rounds. If you have a sample that just reads something that doesn't make any sense, or you're getting a bunch of warnings or something to that effect, you might want to save the raw optical data for the sample. This is how you would do it. They're stored in a chip in the instrument. It'll store 25 samples on a first-in, first-out basis. Reset ID number. It allows you to set the ID number back to 0 if you're going sequentially. This is auto manual numbers, where you would determine whether you wanted automatic numbering or manual numbering. Date and time, should you find yourself in another time zone and need to change time and date. Readings, you can change the number of sub-readings that you do. Most people find the configuration that it comes with acceptable. Slope and bias is if you're making any adjustments to the calibration, and that will be the subject of another video segment entirely. Print cons, that allows you to print out the constituents. Enable constituents, maybe you just don't care about RON and MON separately. You can choose to enable or disable them, just as you did with the products. Print products, also like that, and that'll just allow you to show what products are actually in the instrument in the event that you're not certain. And we can see here that this instrument is calibrated for gas, e-gas, and diesel. And there we go. That's the basic operation of the instrument. Should you have any other questions, please feel free to call us anytime. We're Zeltex, 1-800-732-1950. Have a great morning.